You've seen our friendship with URSA blossom into excellent guides, and they've given me some of the best tips for endgame wormholers to get. Whether you're an aspiring wormholer with a new Catalyst update, or whether you've been around the block, this video is for you, wormhole enjoyers. So if you came for the best of guides, you are arriving at the right place. I mixed up my words there, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Loru here, digital advertiser, content creator, and Eve enjoyer for the better part of 10 years now. The Catalyst expansion is right around the corner, and we wanted to start this off right before the Odysseus drops with some best tips and tricks for wormhole enjoyers. Let's start with, what is your ISK priority? It's no secret that your ISK priority, and again, many of these tips are from URSA, our friends at URSA. You can check the link in the description for them. They gave me all of these tips. This is a masterclass from them. All their stuff is in the description. Go check it out. Consider checking them out if you would like to be in a Wormhole Alliance. They live in a C5. They print ISK. They get it done. It's a good time. So the ISK priority for a wormhole is very much, pretty obviously, gas into hacking into ratting. Okay, now this is like not in order of how much it's gonna make you. This is an order of priority as it spawns. All right, so main thing to understand is that gas is not like one factor above. It's like 2 or 3. Okay, gas is one of those. Once you get your gas huffing set up, you can do the rest of it. So URSA's knowledge, Loru makes the content. I'd like to do more of these. If you're in a null block, if you're in a low sec block, if you're, I don't know, if are there more types of blocks? Come on down. Let's get you featured. Let's have a good time. Gas sites are better, just better. But of gas sites, some are above the rest. The vital core reservoirs and the instrumentals are the ones that you want to look out for. Let's talk about vitals and what they are. Let's see about it. So these are specially named gas sites. So if you see a vital, you see an instrumental, these are the ones that you should be prioritizing and going after first. Each one will have sleepers spawn in about 15 to 20 minutes, okay? This one's gonna have 4 frigates and 4 battleships. Big mobs coming in. And you can't Jedi mind trick this one because of the frigates. The frigates will catch up to you and they'll take out your ships. Remember, see, these go 2,800. What Jedi mind tricking is, and we will show off the instrumentals right now. This one has 4 battleships. You're in a gas cloud, and you've got these sleeper battleships that are big and scary, and they can do a lot of damage to you, but they don't move very fast. They only move about 1,100. Well, you're in your prospect, you're in your venture, and you're moving very fast around the outside of the gas sites. Go watch our Wormhole guide playlist, link in the description. We'll have a full gas huffing guide for you. We'll show you how to do this firsthand. You move around so fast, the battleships can't hit you. That's what we mean by Jedi mind tricking, okay? We're gonna cover that in depth in that video. Do not listen to what I just said and tell yourself, I can go do instrumental core reservoirs. Loru told me. Go watch the video. Don't undock something you don't understand. Please, I beg you, make some ISK. Do it the right way. I'm giving you knowledge, okay? Just like a certain bad marketer says, okay? So instrumentals are easy enough. A ton of gas in these. We're talking about 140,000 M3 worth of gas. That is 3 Odysseus's. Not a joke. 3 Odysseus can fill up. We saw that today. Look for those guides. Okay, so thank you. This will take you 12 hours to mine with whatever ship they're recommending. Let's look at the show notes, okay? It's also got 63 million in blue loot. Very nice. All times assume a venture with T2 gas scoops mining frigate 5. So with one venture, it'll take you 13 hours to mine this. So think about it like this. If you have 4 ventures, you cut this time by 4. So it'll be 3 hours, right? And this is 2 hours. And that's assuming Tech 2 gas scoops, not assuming syndicates and all the other things. Okay. So you can do with it what you will. You can mine a Viner Instrumental without Radagro. Careful though, because this one has frigates. And this one, they move very fast. You won't be able to mind trick the frigates here. You can always kill these frigates and then warp off your ship. Just be careful that the battleship doesn't kill you. Just be careful. These are the 2 you have to look out for. And again, this has even more blue loot on it, 75 million. Don't skimp out on salvaging these. Sleeper salvage is one of the most expensive salvage in EVE, and it is going to be some good money for you. Okay, so every other gas site is still worth it, but the vitals and the cores are your priority. That's a good way to do it. So you can make a ton of ISK in other gas sites, but that's what you should be going after. So now I do recommend you check out our venture and our prospect video, but the best ship to gas huff is the prospect, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Let me find it for you. Let me find it for you. So this is our, like, I'm solo. That's my ore one. One sec, let me find it. This one is our solo wormhole gas. When you're solo, you want to use Tech 2 scoops. Okay, because you just don't care if it burns off. Tech 2 scoops have the residue, so it burns stuff off. This will let you go very fast. Now, I saw some comments in the other one that, hey, you want to use an afterburner because this will make your sig bloom go up a lot. Depends on what you're doing. If you're huffing, yes. If you're mind tricking, use an afterburner. Makes sense. If you're just trying to go fast and you're in a lower tier wormhole, like a class 1 or a class 2, you can get away with a micro warp drive. Not a problem. Do what you want. I'm not your dad. The point of this one is that it has, with the micro warp drive on, we are still sub 3. Okay, because we have the triple eye stab getting it done. It was hard to catch. Get out safe. Go nice and fast. Mine up some gas. It's good to go. Okay, check out our, again, video in description for better stuff. The next one's hacking. Hacking is the order priority because you're really looking for a ghost site, specifically, a superior ghost site. These only spawn in wormholes. If you're ever wormholing and you see superior, something named superior covert, superior whatever covert site, that's the big ghost site. It can hold the biggest, baddest loot. You can get hundreds of millions. Look, you can get high-grade Ascendancy copies. These go for hundreds of millions of ISK. Let me scroll up. Magpie MTUs, Yurt mobile depots. These are big, big things you can find inside of this, and only inside of the actual big, bad, superior sites. Geez, there's so many names. You can find lesser, standard, improved in other areas of space, but the best one is inside of wormholes. It's one of the ways that wormholes are different. How many of you did not know that wormholes had a unique data site? Type 1 in chat if you did not know this. If you did not know that they were uniquely to wormholes, type 1 in chat. Thank you kindly. So this is, think of this as a jackpot. It's big. You're welcome, chat. Enjoy it. This is a jackpot. So that when you see it, should be, oh, hey, check it out. But you shouldn't ignore the other ghost sites because these are difficult, but they have a ton of loot. Now, how this works is there's 4 cans in a circle, roughly speaking. You warp in cloaked, and a timer starts the moment you uncloak. So you're gonna be using your cargo scanner to see which one has the highest value, go to that one, hack it, and probably leave. Because after a certain amount of time, the mobs will spawn and they will kill you. You have like 2 minutes to do stuff. I would mine 1 or 2 cans. My heart pumps so much when I do these to this day. They're a lot of fun. They definitely do well. And the rats will kill you. There are ships designed to tank this. We will have those YouTube videos coming out as we do more wormhole guides. That's one of the ones I want to make a guide on. But this is one of those sites you need to be careful with. Go hack 1 or 2 containers and then get the hell out of Dodge so you confirm your loot is good to go. Okay, so if you fail a can, it blows up, killing your ship. If its tank is bad enough, I would know. I went into null and had a pacifier and failed this hack, and I exploded immediately, losing all of my stuff. That's how it do be. High risk, high reward. Very scary. Definitely check it out. Okay, cargo scanning is your friend. If you hack more than 1 can, you can start with a different named one. Okay, that's one of your main tips for you. If you see 2 that are like secure lab, secure depot, maybe hack 1 secure depot and then hack another secure lab to maximize your loot chances. So yes, and the rats destroy the cans, correct, and they blow you up. So, you know. The next one is ratting. Now, you can make a ton of ISK ratting. It's not like you can't. We did just make a video where you can take your Marauder out and make 700 million ISK an hour, not clickbait, actually correct. And you can take your Dreadnought out if you're in a wormhole with dread ratting and make 1.5 billion ISK an hour. These are not jokes. This is not clickbait. Don't listen to the haters, chat. They are correct. You will make more ISK than them because you actually listen to your boy. Okay, so let me find my wormhole playlist here. What I wanted to show to you is that this kind of stuff is not just some rare thing that like, oh, only a select group of people can do. You can join a Wormhole Corp today, and if you're a max player, max skill point player, very large skill points, you can get a ton of ISK. And you can check out our Wormhole playlist. Again, link will be in the description for you. I'll link it in chat here so you can bookmark this, y'all, so you can get the good value. So check it out. We got huffing, we got ratting, we've got salvaging, we've got even more stuff coming up. We got stuff to take into the Crimson Harvest. We got the Nomad Lad himself. If you want to go ratting in wormholes, a word of caution. You can get scrammed by a lot of those sleepers, and they will hold you down while the other people kill you. So just be careful, okay? Because this is a very scary site. Check out some of our specific guides for specific fits. I keep saying the word specific because wormhole space is a very scary area of space, and the rats will end you if you're not properly prepared. Always Google the name of the site, bring in a specific fit that other people have tried if you're new, and then test from there. Okay, we almost died in our jackdaw because we went into a subpar system and we're taking a ton of damage. We did get out on time and got a bunch of money. Just be careful. Just be careful. Because ratting is up there. Not necessarily, it is constant ISK, but the other really like big loot moments are gas and hacking. That's what you should do. Let's talk about managing your assets. Let's talk about managing how and when and where you do things inside of Wormhole space. One of the main things that everybody recommended that was in URSA was that you have an alt in Jeddah. We are in Jeddah. This is a market hub where we are. You have a literal like person sitting in Jeddah to do all of your selling with, and you're going to contract almost everything to this alt. I recommend this alt have some kind of hauling. So what you can do is you can pop out into high sec. You can contract the stuff to your alt and then let it sit in an NPC station and then pick it up on your hauling alt in a blockade runner or a DST at a later date. You can make a hauling run after that. So what I recommend is you have something, let me make this yellow so you can see it. You have Jeddah. Okay, let's say your wormhole character pops out. Let's say it's like, 7 jumps away from Jeddah. You put your loot right here, and then you go here with your bank, and then you come back to Jeddah with your alt that's in Jeddah. That's what I recommend you do. I don't know if that's what URSA people do, but that's what I recommend. Just so you can have a second account hauling while your main account is doing something. That's the main thing, I think, and that's what you should be doing. So you need to be watching your gas price history. In order to maximize your ISK generation, you don't want to sell gas when it's too cheap. Now, it depends on everything else that's happening. For example, there's a lot of big things happening with the, how's it called? The new Catalyst X-Pack. Where is gas in here, chat? You want to look at, for example, compressed fullerene C3200. It was very low recently. Maybe don't sell it here. You see a lot of volume was moved. 500 million compressed fullerite C320 was moved on this day. You don't want to sell it that day. You want to wait a little bit till it evens out. Why? Because gas is used by a lot of things for a lot of different stuff. And you can see the market is pretty variable. Eve Tycoon's a really good site for that, for sure. You want to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck, and you can just be patient. When in doubt, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see me talk about this a lot. I'm not a financial analyst, but goodness gracious, sell half. If you're not sure if you should sell here, sell half your gas. And then that way, if it goes up, you can still have some gas to sell. If it goes down, well, at least you didn't sell the rest of your stuff. You could hold on to it for just a little bit. So make sure you watch your gas price history. That's over in the price history tab. You can zoom it in and out, see what's up. Okay, make sure you watch it there. It's a good time to do it. Let's talk about how to think about your assets in wormhole space. Okay, you need to assume anything that you take into wormhole space is already dead. Okay, it might get locked behind a rolled hole. It might be, and you'll never find it again. How wormholes work is that if you have this wormhole and it opens up a path to this wormhole and you drop your loot in this wormhole and the connection closes, well, the loot is still there, but you're over here. There's no more connection. So how are you going to get your stuff? You're probably never going to see it again, or at least you might as well sit it there, but it's going to take you some time if you ever find it again. So assume everything that you take into the wormhole is already lost. It's just a really good mentality thing to help you understand this is very much something that you spend money to make money, but you don't want to take in something you can't afford to lose. Okay, so let's talk about this big point right here. A lot of the guys I was talking to were saying you don't want to keep everything in the Wormhole Corp's station. Some of the guys were talking about how they have dedicated DSTs that just live out and they just cloak them up and they're at a strange safe and they go somewhere. So what a strange safe is if this is the solar system, this is the sun, this is the like various, planets that are around, whatever, they have a safe zone that's like out here. Okay. And they have their Occator cloaked out here chilling that's holding a bunch of very valuable goods for them that they can just wait at. They don't leave their stuff inside of a station. Why? Because if they don't, maybe their station gets destroyed if they go on vacation for a week and they come back and all their stuff's gone, right? There's no asset safety. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no asset stage in the chest. It's just not nullsec. You want to keep your stuff just like over there and ready to go. You saw that Nomad Tail Chlorokin has a pos. We see that in chat as well. You can have a pos to do this. This is a bubble that protects you from stuff, but it leaves you open to people trying to kill you because they can see this and they can assault it and they can take out your force fields and then take you down. If you have a DST cloaked in the blackness of space, nobody's going to come find you. Nobody's going to come get you. How do you make a strange safe? The short answer is I don't know if I can talk about it on here because there's a bit of finagling with Abyss and with timers. So if this is the solar system, what I recommend you do is if you have a very large solar system and if the sun is here and if there's like a planet here, planet here, whatever, make a safe. Like if this is D-scan range, you want to prioritize making safes that are out away from celestials. So if your safe is here and this is your D-scan range, if no one's going to be able to D-scan you if they're at this planet because you're not in range. No one's going to be able to D-scan you if you're at this planet. What I recommend you do is you experiment with your best safes and find a spot that's all your own and get safe. There's, chat, as always, you are never safe and Eve, but you have to do your best to try to like save your stuff. That's all. So speaking of ships you should have in your DST that are essential for Wormhole living, a scanning ship. Have a scanning ship. What is the best ship you can have for that? Well, really, it's obviously any of the Covert Ops scanning ships. You can also have a stealth bomber as your scanning ship because they have decent scan strength, whatever. They can keep it going. You can also PvP in it. I'm going to show you my maximum pacifier scanner. This is the largest scanning I own. It's one of my best ships, I think, and this ship is not for hacking. Purely for scanning. The fit will be in the description for you. Easy peasy. We get, without a pod, 136 power with scanning. And we scan stuff down very fast with the mid slots being just completely dedicated to scanning. This is also not without the expedition command boost that are going to be coming in with the Odysseus. So you also go very fast. You go 2800. We have an interdiction nullifier and a covert ops cloak. You're not going to catch this ship. It goes too fast. It's cloaked. It's going to avoid bubbles. It's going to be hard to lock down. This ship is for going to a spot and just locking everything, scanning everything, making sure the entire wormhole is scanned down and good to go. Start with a scanning ship. What other ships could you use? Well, basically it's any ship that has a scanner on it. I'll put some fits in the description for you for the Helios. I'll put some ships in the description for you for the Heron. The Heron is a very good ship to start scanning with if it's something you would like to dive into. One of the best scanning ships in the game for new bros especially is the Heron because of its amount of mid slots. The mid slots are going to be great. I'll put this fit in the description for you as well. This is a Heron that you need only 10 million skill points to fly, and that's like a estimate. You can fly this much faster if you're new. You don't need all those skill points. You're going to have a good time with it, chat. Okay, so it's very easy fit to fly, only 10 million. It's going to be super easy. Check it out. Have a good time with it. Thank you for those things. Scanning ship. Next is a rolling ship. So what is wormhole rolling? Wormhole rolling is when you have a wormhole, and let me minimize it for just a sec. You have a wormhole, and in your, let's say in your area, you have this circle represents your home wormhole. Let's say you have a wormhole that spawned, a wormhole that spawned, and a wormhole that spawned. Let's say this one is going to a C5 and you want to keep it open because you're going to be able to get some loot. Let's say this one goes to low sec, dangerous. This lets people in from low sec. You don't want this to be, you want to kill this. You want this to go away. Let's say this one is going to Thera, scary. You don't want people coming from Thera. You roll the wormhole yourself. You put ships back and forth in them to take out the wormhole yourself. Because a certain mass can go through each wormhole. And if you put a certain amount of mass through it, then you'll be able to take it out. This fit, we've shown you this before. This is our miscellaneous praxis. PvP ready, scanning ready, can cloak in case you need to go to a safe. You can burst people, SIBO lock down the frigates. You can blip, you can increase your mass with the micro warp drive. Look at this, we turn this off. Look at your mass right here because we have the Higgs anchor. Okay, Higgs anchor is going to increase our mass by 100 trillion T. Then if we use the micro warp drives, goes up to 300 trillion. You can also make your mass a little bit less. Not as much, but still some by going up to 292 with this afterburner. Really good way to make sure you roll the hole. You can choose how big it is. They see me roll. Use this fit If you are in smaller wormholes, okay, in lower class wormholes, if you're in a bigger wormhole, a C5, our friends at URSA have given us what they use to roll the hole. Yes, chat, it is a capital ship wormhole roller. Yes, they do use an Archon to roll the ship. Some people play EVE Online much differently than you and I, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so very, very big deal. Very, very big deal. Low class is like anything below a C3 is what I would say. So this ship can scan. This ship can smart bomb to stop the inevitable frigates and drones that are going to be swarming it should it be locked. This ship can newt down stuff, heavy newts, to really like lock that Astero that's hitting you in place. You have 3 different propulsion modules. This one is a battleship level. It does get to increase your mass and does increase your speed somewhat. This is a capital afterburner that's going to increase your mass different amount. And this is finally a capital micro warp drive. It's going to do different. Each one does different things. Sig, radius, mass. It's for rolling the hole. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to explain this one too much because the people that use capital ships to roll a wormhole don't need me to explain how to do this. Join a Wormhole Corp and do it yourself. Consider joining the one in the description. Okay, so this one is not for combat. This is for, you can see, fast warp. Fast warp. Okay, 4.8 up from 2.7. This is for getting there, rolling the hole, and keep it going. Okay, so this is the one. Those fits will be in the description for you. Save it for later. Keep it going. So you need a scanning ship. Let's make this yellow so y'all can see it. You need a scanning ship. You need a rolling ship. And this is necessary for anybody that's living inside of a wormhole. You also need, let me find my notes here. Thank you kindly. You need a huffer. This is your huff. And really, you can make this as cheap as you want with the Venture, but the Prospect is the preferred one. I really just recommend that, especially with all the wormhole love that people are about to get with the Odysseus, you want that Covert Ops Cloak, a very big deal. And finally, you're going to want your DST, specifically your DST. This is your Deep Space Transport. I've featured my Occator fit in the past. This fit is what I call my Danger Utility Hauler. It's got basically everything you need. You can cloak up at a safe. You can use the you can use the Afterburner Pulse trick. This is not a cloak micro warp drive trick. It's different. You can blip away. You can stop people nuding you because you're an active tank. You have these active modules. Stop you from getting scrammed. Many people look at a DST and they see, oh, it only has 2 warp strength because it has an innate bonus, and they think, oh, you're not running a stab as well. We do, because if they have 1 faction scram, we still get away. Literally saved my life when I was going out to film the Dread Ratting video. I was a couple wormhole jumps away and another Wormhole Corp collapsed on me, and I was able to get away because of this fit. I saved hundreds of millions of ISK. Really big stuff. So you want to keep all this in a DST, put it to a safe, and keep it going. What some people do is they have a freighter that's like deep in a strange safe, or far off in a very safe, and they almost never log the ship in, and it's just sitting there, you know, menacingly. And if you want to, you know, log into the character, drop your stuff off and keep going. If you want like a mobile base, I'm saying this, but I know that someone is going to take a freighter into wormhole space. Hear me, chat. This is a one-way move. Probably never going to be able to get that freighter out. This is like you're in a C5 wormhole. You live there. You have your Charon, you have your Obelisk, whatever it is, and it's ready to go, and it's in a safe. You only log into it if you're dropping off stuff. You treat it like a mobile base. It's literally logged in for minutes, and then you sign off, and it goes back to being safe in the blackness of space. Okay, I want to feature this because from a usability standpoint, it's a really good idea. I know that somebody's going to be like,
Loru, I tried to take a Charon into a C3 and I got killed.
Please don't do that. Take a freighter if you're a part of a Wormhole Corp, if you have protection. I feel like I don't have to say these things, but, you know, that's how it is. So we talked about what ships to use. These are your basics. There's other ships you can have, obviously, but that's what you really need, because huffing, and a hacker and a ratter. Hacking, ratting, we already talked about that. Let's keep it going. So let's talk about selling your loot. So I used to say high sec buyback was a thing. It is no longer a thing. I did not know this. I haven't needed to use it because I live in Pochfin. But high sec buyback is no longer happening. This was a player-run corporation that you could contract them anything in high sec. and they would buy it at like 90% JITA buyback. This was a great service and is no longer happening. I don't know why it's not happening, but it's not happening. Probably too much stuff going on with this. So really cool system, not happening anymore. So how do you get your stuff out of wormhole space and go sell it? Well, there's a couple different ways to do this. First of all, we talked about gas price history. Let's talk about how to get stuff out. Then we'll talk about like market stuff. There's a couple ships that I'm going to recommend that you use to get your stuff out of wormhole space. The first ship you can use to get gas specifically out of wormhole space is a prospect. Don't sleep on the prospect hauler, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It has a massive ore hold. It has a 12,500 ore hold. If you have some kind of connection to high sec or low sec, and because it's small, you can go in and out of the holes fast. And because it's a covert ops cloak, you can get there safely. Okay, you are
never safe.
Do I really have to keep saying it? So you can use this to get a lot of compressed gas out of there with the prospect. Another thing you can use to get them out is the porpoise. You can straight up use your porpoise to get it out. The porpoise has a very large mining hold and can compress the ore itself. Let me find it. Fleet Bay, mining hold capacity. You know that, let me come back to this. You know that we use the porpoise as one of my favorite ships in the game for what we call wormhole backpacking. The fleet hangar at 5,000 can also hold a lot of salvage, can hold a lot of blue loot. The porpoise can also be fit for a sub-4 align time, and I will show you my wormhole buddy. I talk about this. This will definitely be replaced by the Odysseus when it comes out, but the porpoise can still compress the gas, so we'll see. Now, some of you are going to see this fit and go,
Loru, what have you done?
There's a method to this madness. Please hold. Okay, please hold. This porpoise can scan stuff down. It has a armor ripper if you're ratting stuff, because what if you have a shield ship and you take armor damage? You can't repair your stuff in wormhole space. There might not be a station. Now you can repair yourself. What if you go down to hull? You can repair yourself up. This porpoise is typically cloaked at a safe and meant to use as a backpack. Okay, a backpack. You drop your stuff off and wait, and just go back to your normal day. And if you one pulse the siege module to make sure you can put a siege module in the stuff here and swap it out with your mobile depot. So you can always compress, you can modulate this as much as you need. The afterburner is just to go a little bit faster. Slight tank, and yes, a sub-4 align. You also can salvage with this. We can repair up our stuff more with maintenance bots. And yes, if we get caught, we have the ECs. This is my favorite alt to take into wormhole space because you can literally modulate this. Go back a couple years and go watch our wormhole pearl diving streams where I had a Proteus, a porpoise, and a skiff that were in wormholes that we were able to actually push back wingspan a couple times until they hard countered me once they found out my exact fit. So I'm quite proud of what we did nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so consider hauling in a prospect, consider hauling in a porpoise. The obvious thing to do is just have a dedicated DST to haul with. That helps you a ton. You almost never want to haul in a barge, and I almost never recommend taking a barge into this area of space. The Odysseus is going to change how you haul things out of wormhole space. The Odysseus is the new ship. This video is going to come out probably on the day, if not the day before, the big Catalyst X-Pack. It's going to go right here, and the Odysseus has an expedition hold that can hold 50,000 gas and hackables. The Odysseus on launch will be the best way to get, by a large margin, to get all your wormhole loot from wormhole space to safe areas of space. It is a battle cruiser that can use a covert ops cloak sub for that guide. I do love a good torrent. This is an honorable mention. I'll say this for you, Blackjack, because this is really good. I love me some torrent. Torrent and Deluge, some of my favorite ships. Torrent is a mini freighter, 100% correct. If you're doing a lot of PI in wormhole space, and I recommend you do, okay? Infrastructure holds can hold up to 60K, plus the fleet hangar holds can hold 30K. This means it holds about half as much as a, it's like 1/3 as much as a freighter. That's a lot. 100, this is 90K. With everything else, it's going to end up being like 110, whatever, after your skills are all up. Torrent is a really good addition if you're specifically doing planetary industry in a wormhole space, and I'm recommending you do. All this is fine, but what the hell do you do once you get back to high sec? So you really have two options. if you're in a wormhole and you want to take stuff to market, you have actually a couple options. You can either sell to corpies that are inside of the wormhole, and you won't get as much money, but then you don't have to worry about hauling it. So that's number one. Okay. You can also go yourself to, however far it takes to Jitta. This will take a lot of time, and you'll be able to get all of the returns, but God knows you have to wait for a high sec connection. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is going to take you the most time, but it'll give you the most returns, and you also have to get there yourself. A lot of danger along this route. You could also just drop stuff into a high sec or a low sec connection. When it happens, contract stuff to your alt, and then, as we said at the start of this video, let your alt go there and back again with Jitta. I recommend this way to haul your stuff and to make the most of it, because you can, once you see a connection to K-space, you can dump your stuff into an area of space, come back into the wormhole, keep crabbing, just keep going, while your alt on your other Omega, and come on, chat, we all know it, especially if you're doing this, is gonna do that long 20 jump route while you're making some more ISK. I think this way is the best bang for your buck. That way is the most consistent. That is the way I recommend. But of course, you can always just sell to Wormhole Corbies and let them deal with it. Okay, thank you very much. So, let's talk about some specific things. What the hell's blue loot? Okay, you hear blue loot a lot. This is sleeper loot. This is loot that is, it's going to be, chat, you're going to laugh. This is very, very silly. It's literally stuff that's colored blue. It's these like memory foundries, whatever the heck. These, not that one. This sleeper data library, for example, you can buy it in just 482,000, but you can sell it to an NPC at all of these stations for a little bit more. How do I know these are NPCs? Because their buy orders are expiring in a year. These are all players because the buy orders expire in 3 months, the maximum amount a player can do. These are NPC buy orders. How many of you did not know you could find NPC versus player buy orders like this? Type 1 in chat if you did not know this. Type 1 in chat if you did not know this. So why this is important is because this is quite the percentage less, another 20,000-ish ISK less than the main thing here. So all of you knew it. Okay. Looks like you've been listening to our guides. I'm proud of you, chat. That's the first time in many videos that we've typed something that y'all haven't said it. I love that, actually. Y'all actually know what the hell you're doing now. So good stuff. This is more dangerous. Okay. Look how close this is to Jitta. This, let me find an NPC. The closest NPC order is here, and it is 2 jumps from Jitta. Chad, this is camped. Very, very, careful. You could go there and sell it to this NPC, but you got to be very, very careful because people camp those routes. You know it. I know it. They're waiting for you to come up and see this and keep it going. Maybe just sell to Jitta to get some guaranteed money if you don't want to brave the dangers of low sec and not get smart bombed with a shuttle worth trillions of ISK. We're quite topical today. Okay, so that's what I would do that. Salvage is big. Salvage is big. You do not want to skimp on salvaging. We have an entire Wormhole video dedicated to salvaging, and I'd recommend to go watch that for the better fits. But you can just use a basic catalyst in this. We're going to be doing an updated salvaging video when the Pioneer and the Outrider come out, because the Consortium Venture, the Faction Venture, the Faction Pioneer, the new mining destroyer, and the new Tech 2 mining destroyer, the Outrider, all get bonuses to salvage drones. Okay, so I operate out of heck, much less camping. That's true. You can also go to different areas. Okay, so you could use a 13 million ISK catalyst and get the job done. Watch our salvaging video, or you can wait for the big updated salvaging video when we're going to talk about the new ships coming out with the catalyst expansion. Okay, so let's talk about this one specifically. Okay, this piece of loot, this neurovisual input matrix, it's a big one. Bookmark this, save it. This one is going to sell for quite a bit. Okay, you always want to check the prices on this one. It's mooning right now, and yes, it's still going down, but this is one of those materials, Mitsubishi materials, that you can really get a lot out of. So you want to kind of go for this one. This is sleeper salvage, only found in Wormhole space, and is used to make T3 destroyers and cruisers. Very big. Definitely keep an eye out for neurovisual input matrix. If you get some of these, you should go, hey, I got a good drop That's good stuff. So we talked about how to sell your stuff. Let's talk about station management and what people do in wormholes specifically. So if you're going to start a wormhole corp, you need to be careful with who has what perms. You really need to be careful with this, because since there's no stations in wormholes, unless someone places it, you are the one who's in control of stuff. So the bigger your wormhole corp, the more potential it is for like espionage, for problems. Don't become one of those Eve stories where people are like, yeah, I took, I messed with their perms and I took all their stuff. I don't even know if I have any Raitarus or anything. I don't even know if I have it. Let's just get a nice backdrop here. Raitaru, let me see if I can find it. So check the perms, just stay on top of that. That's my first point for you. Let's talk about what it means if you have certain stations in Wormhole, and what it means if you're day tripping, if you see certain stations in certain wormholes. Okay, so the more structures in a single hole means you're more attractive to larger corporations. Okay, especially if you have under like 300 characters. If you have a smaller wormhole corp and you have like 5 stations, you're probably going to get sieged and taken out by a bigger null block, or yes, even another wormhole corp, because they smell blood in the water. And I'd be careful, if I were you, getting bigger stations in wormhole space if you're a smaller corp. Okay. One of the exceptions to this is if there's a bunch of Astra houses. If you are in a, let's say, a mid-sized wormhole corp, and you want to deploy, and you want to really exert dominance over stuff, you can deploy a lot of Astra houses, and yes, a lot of Fortizars into the wormhole, because these are more difficult to siege, roughly speaking, and they're not industry things. They're more defensive capabilities. They have defensive capabilities comparatively. So if someone pops into a wormhole and they see like 6 Astras, and they scout it out, and there's like 10 people in each Astra, they're going to leave you alone. Can't tell them anymore. No, that's right. That's right. No more keep stars. That's right. Exactly correct. So just be careful of that. So you also want to check your structure timers. You want to be careful when you're placing these. This is basic structure management, but just, be careful when you're placing stuff. This is a big tip from them. You want to flip your structures regularly. You want to unanchor and then anchor new ones every, they said 6 months, because there are tools that can track various stations and can turn you into a loot pinata if you're not careful. So maybe like once every 4 months, set a timer when you drop in a house and like unanchor it, re-anchor it, just to make sure any kind of third-party tools can't see what the heck you're doing. Okay, so just be careful with that. So one of the final things I can tell you is make sure you have your insta-docs and your insta-undocs ready to go. So in our advanced freighter hauling guide, we talk about this, that you're going to press undock, and right at this little point, you're going to make a bookmark. That's your insta dock. You can always warp, never press station dock. You'll warp here. Too far sometimes, can't insta dock. If you have a bookmark and you warp to the bookmark, you're going to warp here. You'll always dock. You'll be good to go. The other thing you want is a insta warp off point. You want something that's like, 1K plus off, and you want it to be straight off. That way, if you have a bigger ship like a DST or a Charon, no align time. You just undock, you press warp, and you're off. You're off. You immediately insta warp off. We talk about this in our big hauling videos. How you make those insta bookmarks, one of the cheapest ways I can show you to do this. I'll show you a big one and a small one. I have a Punisher called I'm Fast as Heck Boy. This is 12 million-esque and goes 8600 with no clone, cap stable. What I do with this is if this is the station, I undock, I double click in space, assuming I'm like not angled, and I come back in an hour and I'm like 5K off. And I have a really long warp out point. You have to make sure that you're like not deviating, because if you go a little bit, all of a sudden you're over here. So, but they have tether. Sometimes you want to leave, not stay. You're right about tether. So just, right, exactly. It's like 1,000, not 1 kilometer, 1,000 kilometers. Yeah, keep on going till you have a far one. This is a cheap one. It's only 12 million-esque, very simple to do. But if you want something faster, I have the fastest one I've ever seen. This is a Draugr. This is excessive. This is 500 million-esque, but it does go 96. So for 500 million-esque, you do go another 1,000, 1,100 faster. Both of these fits will be in the description for you if you would like. I recommend the Punisher. Costs nothing, and they're just normalize the mega meter. That's kind of like that. I recommend the Punisher. It's cheaper. you can replace this 100 times and still afford more. Okay, that's what I recommend to make your bookmarks. Enjoy it. It's going to be a good time with it. So let's talk about some other structure stuff. You want to fit structures for the space that you're in. If you're in a C4, you probably don't need capital level defenses. If you're in a C5, you do. So that's, if you are like, hey, if you and your buddies are like,
I want to make we found a C5. I'm going to go make a little wormhole base here.
C5 is some of the most valuable space in New Eden, and you better be ready to defend that stuff. So just be careful and don't just anchor a structure, and always fly what you can afford to lose and anchor what you can afford to lose as well. Okay. Another big tip, and this sounds like it's dumb, but like really, sometimes you just have to say this. If you're in a wormhole, you must fit the station. A lot of high sec stations are unfit. Okay, they're just like, no one's really, you don't need modules, in quotes. If you're in wormhole space, you need to fit your station. You must have defenses, have some stuff. You must contact me. The rebels, you have to make sure there's stuff there, because if it's naked, you're going to get killed. People pop around wormholes and scan your fits. And if they see you have a naked station, they just see a pinata and you'll be taken advantage of. So don't do that. Make it happen. Okay, so here's a fun one. If you have an Asbel, okay, if you have an Asbel in wormholes, all right, this is a very big manufacturing station. People see this and their mouths begin to salivate. You can put an Asbel down, but they know that you got BPOs in there. You got big industry jobs in there. So it's like, what's that meme where the guy's like, he's like, hey, what's up? Careful putting an thanks for using my code. If you put an Asbel down, you become a high value target. Be very careful. Fortizars are harder to take down than Astra houses. If it sounds like I'm saying obvious things, chat, some people are hearing this for the first time. Let's just keep it going. Fortizars are harder to take down than Astras. They're less likely to be shot by people that are just like trolling for content. So if you and your buddies want to just have a good time in a wormhole and you're like, want to put some serious coin down, consider getting you a Fortizar and helping it out, having a good time with it. Yes, these are 10 billion ISK a piece, but you do spend money to make money in EVE Online, okay? Market modules are expensive and mostly worthless for groups under 500. Okay. You don't really want to necessarily have like market modules, like it's just a couple of you are buying and selling, just trade, really. Just sign on and trade. So if you know they will come, they absolutely will. Chat, my eyes are getting so dry. It's getting cold now. So that's like structure tips. Let's talk about some just like strategy. Okay. We talked about how many Astras and forts are going to be annoying to attackers. They'll probably avoid you. One of my biggest points to all of you is about fuel. Don't be stingy with your fuel. Every single time you go back to Jeddah, go buy more than enough. Heaven forbid you get locked out of high sec for a long time and you can't get any more fuel, and then your structure is like, your structure is wand and taken down. Where the heck is it? Quantum core type, does it show the fuel in the core? Is that where, I don't know where the heck to find the fuel. Get a lot of fuel. If you have spare space in your DST, fill up your fuel to make sure that your structure does not go offline. Do not be stingy. Keep it going. The fuel is not super expensive. It's very common for Wormhole Corps at the polls to buy a year's worth of fuel. Okay. You might as well, instead of month to month, because the peace of mind you get is much better than you like, okay, it's been a month. I have to find a way out of high sec now to make sure that that's too much worth it, especially if we're going to be dropping tons of crap in there. Okay, let's talk about wormhole mentality. You want to not think about ISK per hour. You don't want to be like, how much money can I make per hour? You want to really think about, what do I do for my money? What do I want to do? Because wormhole space is very valuable, okay? Very valuable, and you can get a lot of stuff in it, all right? If you want to, URSA asked this exact question. Do I have the money for what I want to do now? If yes, they say casually, rat. Go do some PvE content, no problems. If you do not have the money for everything you want to do now, time to go on some serious huffing sessions. Time, bisque per minute. Can I
have a bisque, brother?
Yes, a brother. Time to go on some real big huffing sessions. What I recommend you do with Wormhole Space is not ask ISK per hour. I personally recommend you say, how can I diversify the activities I'm doing at the same time? Let me explain. Account 1. Let's say this guy is doing a PvE. Let's say this guy is doing PvE ratting. Okay. This character is on a Marauder, T3 Cruiser, doing PvE ratting, getting good money. Your alt is huffing. You can huff in one venture, one prospect. You don't need more. Huffing. Your other alt is a scout and is scanning stuff down, and this is also a hacker. Okay. You are scanning wormholes. You are kind of protecting, sort of like the main guy. This is huffing. This one's scouting, and you have all bases covered with 3 accounts. You can do this with 2. I did PvE ratting while I was huffing back in the day. This, and especially with the Odysseus, my goodness, you can do this and make a buttload of ISK per hour. It's not about how much money you make per hour. It's about the diversification. Because if you have gas and hacking mats and salvage and blue loot, not to mention the ore, you can fit your porpoise to, and you can mobile depot in an ore compressor to have also ore, although gas is more valuable and is the priority. I didn't mention ore before because of that reason. Now you have 3 to 4 things that can make you ISK. Are clouds only in wormholes? No, but they're more common in wormholes. Okay, so let me read you this notes from URSA. What Wormhole Space is a space where you can change almost instantly. If you're in your home wormhole, okay, and you have, this is going to be a really crappy drawing, but I'm just going to commit to it. Okay, if you're in your home wormhole and you have a connection to this wormhole and a connection to this wormhole and a connection to this wormhole. If this one is a C5, yay, you have a lot of new content and a lot of good stuff. If this one is going to low sec, roll it. Be gone. This one goes to a C2, more likely a C3. Gone. Roll the next one, see if you can find something else. You want to go down the chain, normalize 1 account gameplay. Let me tell you what to do if you're on 1 account and you're on a wormhole. Go get you a T3 Cruiser, because with just a T3 Cruiser, you can hack, scan, and do ratting. There you go. I did that for years. Absolutely for years. The power spike you get from 1 account to 2, I can't describe it to you. There's a reason we say working adults, the best way to play Eve is 2 Omegas, maybe a 3rd Alpha. You can just be Abyss on. You don't need to Omega that 3rd one, but you have 2 Omegas, because one of your characters can be ratting, hacking, scanning. The other one can be huffing, scanning. Big deal. Get yourself a Proteus, Chad. If you have 1 account, get yourself a Proteus. Yes, sir. You're right about that, War of the Game Man. Next week is the Odysseus. Yep. But see, the Odysseus is going to be like 8 billion ISK for 3 months. And then it's going to come down to 3 billion ISK. The Proteus, the whole fit is 1 billion ISK. You can buy 3 of them and still be good to go. Okay, so let's talk about scanning. We talked about the pacifier. We talked about the way to do it. The thing with scanning is that you have to really love it to do wormholes. And you really can't do wormholes if you don't love scanning. So if the scanning minigame is something that pisses you off, just don't do it, okay? It's just, you have so many other things that you could be doing. It's such an integrated part of Wormhole Space. You could do any T3 Cruiser voodoo, but I love the Proteus. It's I love my motorbike. It's one of my favorites, okay? So definitely, if you feel like scanning's a chore, don't go into Wormhole Space. And that's fine, okay? With the Odysseus, it's gonna get better, faster, stronger, okay then? So it's gonna get
better, faster, stronger.
We can make sure to have a better time with it. All right, so this is a big deal with Wormhole Space. Notice I haven't mentioned PvP. PvP normally happens when you're trying to defend the other things in Wormhole Space that you're doing. We will have dedicated hunting guides coming out, especially with the Odysseus coming in. So check out our Wormhole guide playlist right here. Ratting, gas huffing, links, FCing, industry, PI, yes, PI. Everything you need to get ready for the Catalyst expansion and move forward, and sub right here, the best Eve guides. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks very, very much.